All right. A to Z Sports, we're back. Sam Phelan, I am back for, as Jacob Westerman points out, round two, talking Titans coaching search here. Was interrupted by the fire alarm. Second time today it's gone off. I guess my apartment building has a pipe issue of the water pipes or something happening that they don't want me to tell you guys about this Titans head coaching search today. But we back. We back, Rashid. And I mentioned off the top that the show is powered by NFL Flag Football, and the website to go sign up for their program is, in fact, in the description. I want to mention before we get into the real good stuff today and some of the juice about why the Titans are one step closer to fulfilling and finding their next head coach, that we are also powered by the Aura app. It can be difficult to stay safe on the internet sometimes. I'm struggling with staying safe in my apartment. You might be struggling to stay safe on the internet. And that's why you might need Aura, because people can find your full name, your personal email, your home address or phone number, even relatives on the internet. Aura found over 30 data brokers that had my information, removed my information from those data brokers by submitting opt-out requests on my behalf. So I'm no longer hit with robocallers, telemarketers, spammers, those unwanted interruptions. I've got plenty of interruptions with the fire alarm, but no interruptions from my phone saying no caller ID. Get the Aura app, do a 2-week free trial at aura.com/ATOZ and let them do the hard work at keeping you safe online. Let's get into why the Titans could make a hire at any moment. As the chat was already saying before I was so rudely interrupted, the Titans have now fulfilled the Rooney Rule. This is an NFL rule, the Rooney Rule, part of the NFL's efforts to develop a deep and sustainable talent pool at levels of every organization. The policy promotes diverse leadership among NFL clubs to ensure that promising candidates have the opportunity to prove they have the necessary skills and qualifications to excel. This is from NFL.com. Through hiring best practices, the Rooney Rule aims to increase the number of minorities hired in head coach, general manager, and executive positions. This diversity enriches the game and creates a more effective quality organization from top to bottom. So this, of course, is something that you see discussed all the time at a head coach or GM search nowadays. The new rule, like the way that the rule is currently in practice, teams are required to have in-person interviews with at least 2 minority candidates anytime they have a job opening, and minority candidates outside of their organization. Until that is done, teams cannot make a hire. So that was the Titans were not able to hire until this was done. But as I showed you guys earlier, with these being some of the finalists, with Dan Quinn getting a second interview, joining Thomas Brown and Brian Callahan, the Titans have now fulfilled their requirement of the Rooney Rule, because they also conducted their interview with ex-Stanford head coach David Shaw in person. So David Shaw interviewed in person. Thomas Brown, a second minority candidate, also interviewed in person. So if the Titans wanted to now, they could make a hire. Brian Callahan could be hired by the Titans today after his interview if they so chose to go that route. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be a week from now as they continue to go through more second interviews. We're yet to find out how many more people are going to be added to that list of finalists, but we do know that a hire could be coming, and those are the 3 names to watch. I think Callahan, like I said, is my favorite of the group. I think Thomas Brown is more underrated than people think. I think he's underrated. Like, he has a lot that he brings to the table that I think is intriguing for a head coach. A lot more than just, Panthers offensive coordinator. People hear Panthers offensive coordinator, they're immediately ready to be like, oh, well, he must stink. The guy worked under Sean McVay for a very long time, had a ton of success coaching running backs at the college level. I think his ability to marry the run game with the pass game could be very fascinating for Will Levis. And if you compare him with the right offensive coordinator, even though he is an offensive guy, but the right offensive coordinator that can be developmental for your quarterback, it could be something really good. I would also watch Thomas Brown as an offensive coordinator candidate. We're not really going to hear anything about OCs until we know who the head coach is. That's the next step of this process. Once this head coach is hired, it's okay. Now, who is your staff? Brian Callahan could bring staff with him, including his dad, Bill Callahan, to be an offensive line coach maybe. But who's your new staff going to be, and who's that new offensive coordinator? I would watch a Thomas Brown for a job like that because he has interviewed with the team twice now, and because he's taking offensive coordinator interviews around the league. He interviewed for the Bears offensive coordinator job. They just hired Shane Waldron earlier today. So he may not go back to Carolina. He may not be retained by Carolina. That's a name to watch for that if he's not the head coach. Dan Quinn, yeah, Kenneth doesn't want it to be Dan Quinn. And I don't really want to see Dan Quinn either. He's a defensive head coach. So that is really an end conversation for me. I do think he has a high floor. I think you're getting a guy in Dan Quinn that has proven he can win at the NFL level. He's coached in the Super Bowl. He has coached a consistently strong defense in Dallas for the last 3 years. So there are some good things to like. But if you hire Dan Quinn, I think my response and the response of Titans fans everywhere would just be, okay, but why'd you fire Mike Vrabel, right? Like you had Dan Quinn in Mike Vrabel, one that was a proven leader, like that you knew the locker room liked Mike Vrabel. You don't know how Dan Quinn's going to be received. So I don't know. Is Shane Bowen staying on as the defensive coordinator? That is to be determined. Really, the entire coaching staff is to be determined. Shane Bowen has taken interviews elsewhere. He interviewed for the Jaguars defensive coordinator job, did not get that job. So that would give me, I would say probably not. Like usually no, coordinators do not stay when a new head coach is hired. Part of that process is like bringing on a new staff. I would say Shane Bowen and Tim Kelly, neither one likely to be retained, but there could be some assistants on the staff, position coaches, etc., that are retained if the new head coach likes them. And that seems to be the plan. Rand Carthon and Amy Adams-Strunk have both said that, right? The staff is important, and the plan is to get a new head coach, present them with the staff that they have, and then make decisions about who's staying and who's going. Josh Mullins wants to know who would be on my dream staff. I haven't gotten too into the weeds with like position coaches and whatnot. Offensive coordinator, I have two names. One is Thomas Brown, if he's willing to listen. And two, I'm all over Liam Cohen as the offensive coordinator for the Titans. He has NFL experience, spent 1 year with the Rams. This is Will Levis's college offensive coordinator at the University of Kentucky. And whether you're getting Brian Callahan to come in and call plays and be your offensive guru, or whoever else to come in and be your head coach, as long as it's an offensive-minded head coach, I think now you can go to the offensive coordinator and find somebody who knows your quarterback better than anybody else. Liam Cohen is that guy. When Will Levis had his best college season in 2021, Liam Cohen was his OC there. So that's a name to watch. He also got an interview for the Bears offensive coordinator job, and I think would be a great fit here. So I have my eyes on him for that job. And then I would also, if it was Brian Callahan, I would love Bill Callahan, his father, who is currently the offensive line coach of the Cleveland Browns, great offensive line, to follow along with him. That's a guy who has been doing this for a very long time, a former head coach in his own right, and somebody who knows offensive line play. So if you're looking at fixing the biggest problems on this Titans team and on this Titans offense, you bring in a Bill Callahan for the offensive line to complement a Brian Callahan who can work with your quarterbacks. And then you bring in Will Levis's like personal mentor and tutor in Liam Cohen. That would be ideal for me as far as what would be fascinating to watch and what I think would result in a lot of wins on the field. But yeah, head on a swivel. It's head on a swivel season. The Titans have fulfilled the requirements of the Rooney Rule and could now make a hire whenever they want. Another staff name to watch here. I saw somebody in the chat with it earlier, but Chris Harris, Titans defensive pass game coordinator and cornerbacks coach, interviewing for the Bears defensive coordinator job. And interestingly enough, the Bears have only really expressed, like that would, first person they expressed interest in was Chris Harris. I think he got another interview as well for another defensive coordinator job. So Chris Harris was a guy that when the Titans went and got him last offseason, they gave him a promotion by throwing the defensive pass game coordinator title on him. But they actually paid him pretty highly, like pretty well. To go get Amy Adams-Strunk ponied up to go and get that guy for Mike Vrabel's staff. He was very, very highly thought of last year, was in consideration for defensive coordinator jobs. He's somebody who I would absolutely like the Titans to retain, but he might get a defensive coordinator job. And so keep an eye on a lot of coaches like that. I know Terrell Williams will be one of the head coaches at the Senior Bowl down in Mobile at the end of the month. So I will be down there and have a chance to talk to Terrell Williams about all of the draft prospects that he is getting to work with. That could be something the Titans have a lot of interest in, and the Titans' new head coach has a lot of interest in. But yeah, keep an eye on him to potentially be retained as well. I know he is very, very highly thought of within the organization. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm sorry that this is a shorter 2-part little deal, but we power through. We keep on keeping on, and hopefully some of this stuff heats up here in the next couple of days. I think by the time I talk to you guys next, Thursday afternoon, maybe Friday afternoon, we'll see, but either Thursday or Friday afternoon, I think we will have a new head coach of the Tennessee Titans to discuss. So head on a swivel season. Keep those notifications ready to go and keep following along with A to Z Sports. We are going to have updates online in article form, in graphic form on social media, and in all of these live shows reacting to everything that comes out about the Titans' new head coach and what's next for this team as they look to move forward and turn a page. Go ahead and like the show before we go and keep locked in for what should be a busy week of Titans news. Till next time, we'll see you guys. Appreciate you as always.